guys, welcome to my channel again. Thank you all for subscribing. I get so excited every time I see a new email that I have a new subscriber or that someone has commented and has a question for me. And this week, for the first time, I actually had someone email me with a question about nursing, and my heart just felt so happy. So thank you guys. I really appreciate all the love that I'm getting so far. This week, I'm going to talk about how much nurses make, because I feel like that's something that everyone has a question about. Everybody kind of wants to know, when I graduate nursing school, how much am I going to make? How much does that pediatric nurse over there make? How much does that PICU nurse over there? How much does the OR nurse make? So today I'm going to kind of break it down and let you know how you can make the most money as a nurse, where you can make the most money as a nurse, and typically just how much you can expect to make after graduating nursing school or becoming a travel nurse. So let's jump into it. Nurses across the board make on average about $33 an hour. That comes up to about $70,000 per year. Now this is the average that nurses make. Now some nurses may make more, some nurses may make less, and it depends on a lot of different factors that we're going to go over. Now usually when I'm referring to nursing pay, I'm speaking of RNs and BSN nurses. So if you have an RN or a BSN, I'm referring to you and how much you will probably be making. LPNs actually make a slightly lower average. It's about $43,000 across the board in the United States for an LPN. Now, you may make more than that or you may make less. It's just the US average. And I will link below the site that I'm using for these numbers and where I kind of got some more information about how much nurses make across the country. And it can be a pretty helpful site if you're a traveler and you're not sure where to go and you really want to make a little bit more money or save a little bit. I will link it below and you'll probably find that to be a little helpful too. So starting with the new grad nurses. You are going to make a little bit less than your experienced nurse counterparts because you are new and you are in a probationary period and you're still learning. Now, after you go from a clinical nurse 1 to a clinical nurse 2, you usually will get a pay increase. And it's not just like $1 or $2. It is a significant pay increase because now you have a little bit of experience under your belt and you are considered an experienced nurse. So that's definitely something to look forward to. If you're a new grad nurse just starting out, you will be getting some type of a pay increase, even though you start out not making as much as the other nurses that you're working with. Day shift versus night shift. Now, if you are a day shift nurse and you are working mostly days, you will be making your hourly rate, whatever that may be. If you are a night shift nurse, you will be making your hourly rate plus a differential. The differential varies from hospital to hospital, from state to state. If you are working night shift and your differential is about $2, that means that you will be making your hourly rate plus $2 an hour extra. If you are in a hospital that pays a percentage as a night shift differential, that just means that you'll be making your normal hourly rate plus a percentage of that rate per hour as your night shift pay. So, for instance, if you are making $33 an hour and your night shift differential percentage is 20%, that means you will make an extra $6.60 per hour on top of your $33 an hour. And that will be how much you make as a night shift nurse. This, like I said, varies from hospital to hospital. Some hospitals pay a certain dollar amount. Some hospitals pay a percentage. You would just have to figure that out when you talk to HR and you figure out what shifts you're going to want to work and what shifts will probably suit your lifestyle a little bit better. Some hospitals also offer an ICU differential. That just means that if you are a nurse in the ICU, that can be cardiac ICU, neonatal ICU, adult ICU, you will be making maybe a percentage or a set dollar amount more than nurses that work in med-surg. So that's something also to definitely talk about with your HR person, or something to consider before you go into whatever specialty you're thinking of going in, because just know that there may be a differential if you were to go to the ICU instead. Probably the most important the most important thing that will determine how much you make is your location. Nurses make different amounts all over the country. On average, nurses in the state of California make more than nurses anywhere else in the country. I I can't tell you how much you're going to make in Oklahoma. I can't tell you how much you're going to make in Florida. But I can tell you that if you're working in Northern California, you're probably making more than everyone else in the country. That is on average. That does not mean that the nurse that you know that works in California is making so much more than you. It actually depends on a lot of factors, and you might be making the same amount. But on average, nurses in California do make a little bit more. So think about where you want to position yourself to work. If you want to work in an inner city, if you want to work in a smaller town, or where you want to work will also determine and be a factor in how much you make as a nurse. Now, finally, for my travelers, we make whatever we can negotiate with your travel company to make. Now, that does not mean that you can negotiate for whatever salary you want, because the area is going to determine, and the hospital is going to determine how much you're going to make. But everything is negotiable. You can negotiate as much as possible how much you'll be making per hour, and then negotiate as much as possible how much you'll be getting for living expenses and per diem and meals and incidentals. You can also negotiate how much you're going to get for reimbursements, and all of those things come into play. So, travelers, I cannot tell you how much you're going to make because it's all negotiable. But I can tell you certain states, like I said before, are going to pay more than other states will. So always keep that in mind as a traveler. If you're traveling because you want to see the country, I don't think that the pay is really going to matter. But if you're traveling because you want to see the country and make a lot of money, then that's definitely something to consider. And you can ask your recruiter, where can I go to make the most money? I'm trying to save. I'm trying to pay off these student loans. I'm trying to buy a house at some point. So definitely talk about that with your recruiter, and she can help you figure out where you have the most leverage as far as making the most and how you can kind of negotiate your salary to suit your needs. That is all for today. I just want to say I apologize for not posting last week. I woke up with excruciating pain in the back of my mouth that turned out to be my wisdom teeth. So I was not in any position to film any videos, but I'm going to try to get back on the weekly filming kick, and I will be posting on Mondays or Tuesdays. So look out for the videos, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and thanks for watching.
She knows, and I know she knows.